Welcome, mothers and others. I am so excited to introduce you to our next candidate who's running for office. This is someone that I have personally met before, and I can't wait to introduce you to him. It is Brett Robinson. He is running for Texas State Rep for District 130. Welcome, Brett. I'm so glad you're here with us today.
I'm very excited to be here. Thank you, Nancy, for having me and for this great opportunity.
So tell us, Brett, why are you running for office?
Yes, 100%. So, again, guys, my name is Brett Robinson, and I'm running for this race state representative because the current incumbent, the Republican Tom Oliverson, I don't believe he's faithfully representing us. A lot of what he's pushing for is pushing to us towards like a Christian nationalism state. He's one of the co-authors behind the abortion ban, and that's why I got involved in this race the first time around. This is my second time running for it. I'm continuing to fight this good fight to hold him accountable on this extreme law that provides no exceptions for rape or incest. And I've got tons of priorities too that I'm sure we'll get into. But that was my number one reason for running. And I had to run again after I saw the constitutional amendments that we just recently voted on this past November, 2 months ago. And I saw that a lot of them weren't really reflective of the values of the Democratic Party, or at least the values that I grew up in and that I live by. Uh, for example, one of them was a ban on a capital gains tax. I think that's completely wrong. I think once again, it's a wealthy tax cut that now the low income communities are now going to front. And so I want to fight that and make sure that we have some brand new voices in the legislature actually fighting for our values.
So, what do you feel this office needs right now?
Yes. So for one, I think a state representative should be present. I think it should be somebody looking to represent us faithfully and actually is involved in the community, willing to take questions, even especially the hard ones. And someone who's present in the community, not just on social media, but also like at food banks and other organizations. I think that's all that we want is someone who really cares, someone who's been here and understands us. And I've been growing up here since I was 9 years old. And so I'd like to think that I understand the community pretty well. And I think the people who truly know me know that I care about it and that I'm active and that I love to be involved.
Can you tell us a little bit more about you and your personal values?
Yes. So regarding personal values, I remember, so I am a UH Cougar. I studied political science and then I also got my master's in public administration. I remember there was one lecture that I attended where it was all about liberalism. It was all about John Rawls and his philosophy. And I remember sitting in that lecture and I was like, yes, this is me. Everything that he's saying, I love this. He's got this thought experiment called the Veil of Ignorance. And it's essentially the idea that let's say you know you're about to be born into this society and you have no idea how it's structured. You have no idea what your family's going to be, how wealthy they're going to be, what their background is. And let's say you had the opportunity to structure this society however you want. And so it's kind of a conversation around our personal biases and how a lot of times the policies we support come from our own self-interest. And so the veil of ignorance kind of challenges us to pull us out from that and just try to start from ground zero. What institutions should we have so that society is better for everybody?
So, what are the top three issues you're running on for office?
Yes, ma'am. So number one, I mentioned it earlier, is reproductive freedom. For one, because I think the dichotomy between me and Oliverson, my Republican incumbent, is such a wide gap. As I mentioned, he supports no exceptions for rape or incest. Meanwhile, I support codifying Roe v. Wade and making it the law of the land. Number two, my priority is to fight income inequality, which includes codifying workers' rights, like the right to collectively bargain for good wages and benefits, and also to tackle our affordability crisis. Even in my own neighborhood, I've seen single family homes get bought up by corporations because families will get an offer that they couldn't refuse. And now that's open only for rent or for lease, which leaves people out me from ever owning their own home. And then number three is to fully fund public education. I am a product of public education. We have a lot of great public schools here in Cy-Fair ISD and in District 130. I know how great they are because, again, I grew up in them. But they are struggling right now. Kids in my own district went without buses for a year because they had to cut funding somewhere, and they shouldn't ever have to worry about that as a service being provided. And so fully funding public education is a priority for me, making sure that the state is holding up its fair share of the funding.
So now we get to have a little bit of fun and we get to know you a little bit better. So we're going to do a little bit of a speed round and ask you a bunch of questions. So
Let's
let's,
do it.
what is the last book you read?
So the last book I read is the Hunger Games series. It's one of my favorite series, so I reread it a lot. Um, and going back to the values question, I remember one time, so Donald Sutherland, he plays President Snow in the movie. I remember there was one interview that he did where he was talking about him being casted for the role and how he practically begged for it because he wanted so badly to be a part of it. And he talked about how he feels like his generation has kind of closed the door and made sure that the generations after him don't have as much opportunity as his did. And that if you're gonna fight, if you gotta fight for those opportunities, then you gotta do it now. And so I'm very grateful for people like him who have kind of brought up this narrative and this conversation and made it so easy to talk about. Yeah, going back to the values question, I had to mention it, but I love this series. It's a great kind of theme and conversation around what exactly we value in government and kind of what politics could really be like at its worst.
What is your favorite word?
My favorite word, probably courage. I think I'll go with courage, because I know when I first got into the race, it took a lot of courage for me to take that first leap. And it's kind of what I use to live my life as well when it comes to applying for jobs or trying out new opportunities or even trying a new thing. I get scared. Everyone does, right? We're all nervous to put ourselves out there. But my favorite Bible verse is Joshua 1:9 and asks us to be strong and courageous and to not be dismayed or courageous because the Lord your God's with you wherever you go. And so I just live by that and do the best I can.
What is your favorite song?
Favorite song? I'm a big Bon Jovi fan, so it'd probably be one of theirs. It's probably a tie between Living on a Prayer or You Give Love a Bad Name.
Do you have a personal motto?
Personal motto, I I'll probably have to go back to Joshua 1:9 again. That is just there's a necklace I have and I don't wear it all the time, but it's a necklace that I wear frequently and it's got that Bible verse on the back of it. And as I mentioned earlier, it's something I live by to kind of remind me to have courage in those moments when it's most difficult.
What is your favorite meal?
Fettuccine Alfredo, hands down. I love it. It's just amazing, so good. I can't get enough of it.
What is your favorite hobby?
I'm gonna sound like a major nerd because I do it all the time. I think a lot of people, when they get up out of bed, the first thing they go on is like Twitter or something. And while I do that too, every now and then I'll literally look up NPR and see what's like the latest story. So I want to say I'm like a researcher at times. Like I do it every day. It's how I keep in touch with the issues, but honestly, I just like to know what's going on.
What is your favorite animal?
Favorite animal? Probably the penguin. I think penguins are cool. I like how they just waddle. Actually, funny story about penguins. I don't know if you know this. They like to huddle up when they're cold, which you think, oh, like they already live in the Arctic, they're fine. But they get cold frequently and they huddle up together to kind of keep each other warm. And so I didn't mean to make that about politics, but I mean, sometimes we gotta come together and make sure no one's being left out in the cold, right?
So tell us, where can we find you? What's your URL and what are your social media handles?
Yes, so you can find me on TikTok, Instagram. I go by Brett4, number 4, Texas on there. And you can also find me on Twitter. I still call it Twitter. I refuse to call it X. I go Brett A. Rob on there. So BRETTAROB.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Brett. It was great to see you again, and I look forward to seeing you on the campaign trail.
Love to see you again, Nancy. Let's keep up the good fight.